We all have expectations. That is just how life goes, right? But sometimes those expectations can limit our opportunities. Carol Mendoza, our transformation motivation coach, is here to give us some insight. And Carol, you've said something kind of stopped me in my tracks, and I want everyone to hear this, that expectations can actually create limitations. What do you mean by that?
Well, exactly what I'm saying. Because most of us here have this picture in our head of how life's supposed to go, how the job opportunity is supposed to go, how the meeting the person is supposed to go, how our marriages should look, how our friendships should look, and even how this conversation is supposed to go, right? We can put an expectation on that, but then when it doesn't match with what we expect, what happens?
Our expectations may be holding us back, Carol.
Right, because we get frustrated, we get disappointed, we sometimes even feel like we failed. And so that's what I'm talking about. If we put an expectation on something and it doesn't happen the way we want it to or what we thought, we create some limitations in our own mind.
I think that's true. It's very interesting that we're having this topic today because most of us have been there. I can't speak for everyone, of course, as you're watching us, but I do feel like most of us have been there. We have these expectations, and most of our expectations are great expectations.
Right. But when we grip a little bit too tight to the concept of this is how it has to be, then we can totally miss what's right in front of us. Haven't you ever said, this isn't what I wanted?
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
And then realize later that it was actually the best thing that could have happened?
Yes, because I had expectations.
That's right.
I had a plan and I had a vision.
Right.
And it didn't quite work the way I
thought it should.
Yes.
But it actually worked out right. Sometimes the detour turns out to be the blessing.
So you're navigating and you really don't know it's happening until that blessing comes, right?
And that's the whole point. Expectations can close us in and they can limit us to only having one version of the story, for example. And also too, when we put expectations on other people, we limit their success. So we have to think about that as well. We want to give ourselves space to see the bigger opportunity, maybe a bigger opportunity in a job. That might not be the door you think that you're going to walk through. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's learning something more new about yourself. It's those small things. But when something doesn't go the way you plan, sometimes when it falls apart, sometimes that interruption is making room for something better.
Something bigger and better.
And better, right,
Yes.
exactly. So
Carol.
take those limits off and take those expectations off too.
This is such a freeing perspective. I certainly enjoyed this conversation. Yes. Is there anything you'd like to add to our viewers about the expectations that, of course, we all live with every day?
Well, I think it's actually being intentional about saying, I'm not going to walk into this with an expectation. I'm going to just go into it and let's see how it works out.
Be more open-minded.
That's right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, Carol, thank you. Great conversation. And listen, everybody, you can see more of our conversation simply by going to WSCV.com/Monday Motivation. And we'll look ahead to see you next week.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back.